What encourages Italy to put more efforts in investing in Georgia?
The first element to start with is a very encouraging business environment. There is a good climate for investors and for business in general. It's a transparent environment. There is, certain sectors money circulating. For example, infrastructure is financed by the IFIs, so there are no problems of payment. There is an encouraging legislation, for example, tax exemptions or low taxes, no taxes on reinvested dividends. Profits, and a great geographical location. Some interesting free industrial zones. The fact that Georgia can represent a platform thanks to a wise policy of establishing free trade areas all around. Of course, with Europe, DCFTA, Turkey, CIS, China, and so forth. And so I think there are interesting conditions. But as we always underscore, apart from the general conditions, these are necessary but not sufficient. One should talk about concrete projects, and that is one of the main objectives of the business forum we are going to organize on the 8th of March in Rome. Frankly speaking, the first step is to fill a gap of information, of knowledge, also in the business community. And so this will be a good opportunity to highlight, for example, the direction of the country, the reforms, the headway that you have made, which is remarkable. Focus on some sectors, which are the most promising ones. I mean, if we want to find three, let's say, macro areas, I would talk about infrastructure, manufacturing, so the opportunities for manufacturing here, or to be a provider to new factories, and hospitality and tourism. And then, of course, is general information, more focused information on the opportunities and projects, and then B2B meetings. And we are working on that. Of course, there will be all the main actors of the Italian system. So the Confindustria, which is the Industrialist Association, ICE, which is a trade agency, SACE, which is the export credit agency, which already partnered with your partnership fund. We have an office here of ICE, of the trade agency, and the CIMEST, which is the agency helping Italian companies to go abroad. And there will be, I hope and I believe, lots of Italian companies, including, of course, companies who are already here and are quite important, from Salini in Pregilo, the infrastructure sector, to Ferrero, to Saipem, to the companies working in the ski resorts, and so on and so forth. So I mean, many others.
To ask you about the corporations which will be introduced on that B2B business campaign.
Yeah, and we have already more than 60 Georgian companies registered, a lot in the construction construction sector, food and drink sector, textile, but also metals, tourism. Is quite diversified, and there is a good also composition in terms of size. There are good companies, And we are working on the registration of the Italian companies and, of course, the matchmaking to have a fruitful, B2B session after the networking lunch. And let me underscore this: the fact that the Prime Minister is leading this delegation, Georgian Prime Minister, and with several ministers. There will be the Minister of Economy, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of Energy, and several others, representatives of infrastructure and other ministries. Is a sign of the political importance attached to this event. This event is a very result-oriented, so it's not, catwalk for politicians. Politicians are very important to underscore and also sensitize companies, but then it's up to the companies to get to know each other and possibly make deals, and this is our wish and our goal.
In which sectors Italian companies are more interested to invest?
I guess that, for example, agro-industry in principle is an interesting sector. Of course, then there are, once again, the question of land registration, the availability of land, but in principle it's very interesting, and we have a very successful example of Ferrero, which is also a driver of local development. Manufacturing means that a company can establish its activities here to use Georgia as a platform. To look at the Georgian market, but not only, to use Georgia as a platform. There is a very recent example. They are finalizing the agreement. There is a company wanting to establish a new factory near Kutaisi, and this I think is very important, which will employ many people and produce tableware, ceramic, for example, plates. And this is an example, and I must say that there was a very good feedback by Georgian authorities, and this was remarked by the company. And this can be a good example for other companies to come. Another sector, of course, interesting is infrastructure. Because of course we can act as contractors. Our building companies, construction companies are among the best in the world. We have, the 38, if I remember correctly, main construction companies have more than 6. These are data. This is data dating back to 2015. 627 contracts in almost 90 countries for a total value of 87 billion euro. So we all over the world we build highways, dams, subways, and bridges, and so I think that our companies can be a wonderful contractor, but also partners, because we are also discussing and exploring some PPP, some public partnership initiatives. It was yesterday here the managing director of ANAS. ANAS is the Italian road company employing 6,000 people and having a huge turnover, and we were discussing also the possibility of PPP. Of course, then as providers, all the sectors that I mentioned can see us in the role of providers. For example, manufacturing means that you can establish a factory here, as the example I was mentioning, but also Italians are very good in machinery, so we can good providers of machinery, for all the factories that I hope will open in the future. There is this very interesting program of EU and EBRD called EU for Business, allowing SMEs, Georgian SMEs, to be in line with the DCFTA standards by buying technology, equipment, and so of course Italians are there to help. And if you think of tourism, hospitality sector, I mean, we can be excellent partners and providers for all that is the content, the equipment, from furniture to lighting to floors and I don't know, ski resorts, you know, machinery and so on and so forth. So I think there
is a Georgian market for Italian businesses.
If you by competitiveness mean the reasons for attraction, of course, for example, frankly speaking, low wages are an attractive element, even though one has to consider that this is not the main factor in the decision making of a company to invest or in a country, but it is a positive element that has to be accompanied by a good qualification.
How Italian-Georgian trade and business relations changed for the last decade?
But is a very encouraging, rather impressive change, because if we take the Geostat figures, we had $162 million in 2007, so 10 years ago. And in 2016 we registered 336 million, so is more than doubled.
Tourism is much developed in Italy. How do you see the links between Georgia and Italy in this regard? How tourism can be developed?
Good figures, more can be done. Good figures because there are good trends. If we talk about Italian tourists coming here, they were almost 13,000 in 2016, with a growth at least like 7% with respect to the previous year, to 2015, and it is a continued trend. And this is, frankly speaking, a wonderful country and a wonderful region. I am a mountain aficionado, and they're wonderful, wonderful mountains. I mean, this is not a novelty. There are explorers and voyagers like Vittorio Sella. I am gesticulating, even if you are not portraying, but I have the pictures of Vittorio Sella, who came here in Svaneti at the end of the 19th century to portray the peaks of Svaneti and the people of Svaneti. So there are incredible opportunities in every sectors, and you know. So I guess this can be a very important destination for Italians. But once again, it's a problem of information. Italy is already a good destination for Georgians. The visa released, I mean, out of 13,000 more or less in 2016, 10,000 were for tourism. So it's not bad. And I guess that the visa liberalization that, let me say, it was very much supported by Italy, and I think it's well deserved by Georgia. Will give a big boost to the movement of Georgians, to tourists and also business.